terminally ill patients should be able to end their own lives with medical assistance. So this is a very important topic, especially from a humanism perspective. So we'll go to Babu Gogineni on this first, if that's okay.
I'm all for euthanasia. I was actually invitee to the board of the World Federation of Right to Die Societies. I've been a close collaborator with the World Federation of Right to Die Societies, been at their conferences. Mary Gallnor, who was once president of the World Federation of Right to Die Societies from Australia, participated in humanist conferences, both as an activist of voluntary euthanasia and also as somebody who was leading the world movement. I have been personal friends with some great leaders who performed euthanasia at the request of others and at great legal risk to their own lives. There are people, doctors with very high conscience about these matters and who have challenged the governments in their countries and have performed euthanasia and declared so. So this is not going to Switzerland where you can do it through an organization like Exit, but doing it in Canada, doing it in the UK, and of course in Australia about, I think around 20 or 15 years ago, Northern Territory allowed voluntary euthanasia. And I forget his name, Jack Kevorkian. Dr. Kevorkian set up a ship just outside the waters, outside the legal waters, and allowed people to come and get euthanized. Why do all this when the quality of life has disappeared? This is not because of mental illness, but because the suffering of the person with the terminal illness is so great that the quality of life is no longer human. Now, how do we know it's not mental illness? Then that is because a group of members of society, so to say a jury, with a large majority of them being experts, assessing the real situation. One, for mental health and balance. Second, for whether this is really irreparable and terminal. And if that term, see, life is terminal. We all die after we are born. So terminal here means that you can't survive beyond so many months, and that few months would be full of suffering. And therefore, the person who requests that the quality of life he had be maintained as part of his life and no more, that he would be allowed to do this. Now, the important thing is medical assistance and social assessment. It's not religious leaders who do it. It is professionals in the field who can assess whether there is no way of saving a person's quality of life because it is really killing. In those situations, yes, what as a pioneering place, Northern Territory did already many years ago, I think at one time it was Oregon in the US and Northern Territory in Australia, and Switzerland, which has no laws around this, and nowhere else. So yes, I'm for it. People should be able to request it, and they should be allowed to write living wills, not when they are suffering, dying, and not in control, but while they are fully conscious, while they are not yet unwell so badly or not unwell at all. when they are able to make that decision, and constantly checked if they stand with that decision still. This is not a shoot me permission to people. This is more where professionals assess the situation, pass their judgment, which is also cross-checked. A friend of mine, his partner in the Netherlands opted for euthanasia, and that is how that partner died. The world's first legal euthanasia was in the Benelux countries, and the one who did it is a doctor who was awarded the International Humanist Award of the International Humanist and Ethical Union before I became its director in Amsterdam at a World Humanist Congress. As I said, I'm closely in touch with leaders of the movement worldwide. I was an invitee to the board meetings of the World Federation of Right to Die Societies. I participated actively in their conferences, meetings, and we got them to join us at the humanist meetings. You know why? Because almost 75% of them are humanists, the ones asking for it, pleading for it, and making the case for it. Yes, with medical assistance, on medical assessment.
Awesome.
Oh.
I think that, yeah.
I strongly agree as
something?
well. There is no debate on this. The only thing that I would request is to have a proper standards in assessment. That's all. But I strongly agree.
Yeah, of course. Awesome. Sarath, I know you've commented on this on Facebook. I think a couple of months ago, I remember you made a comment about this. So I'd be interested to hear your perspective on this as well.
I think as far as this, as far as medically assisted, euthanasia goes, see, we expect that modern society gives certain guarantees, and one of those guarantees, and we would rank this guarantee as an up way up in the high. Maybe if it's not the highest guarantee, highest valued guarantee, if it's in the top, one of the highest valued guarantees, is that people should be in control of their lives. So then it also comes to argument that people should also be in control of their death. So, but we all agree that life is precious always, and we are humanists, and we think, I mean, we represent the, we are the true representatives of YOLO, you only live once. Yeah, you should have very fulfill life. I mean, humanists are, I think they are the forefront. They are they're at the forefront. This idea that humans need to have fulfilling lives, they should have control of their lives, and they should live their lives to the fullest. Now, of course, when someone is terminally ill, and this actually, this I mean, this is somewhat counterintuitive to many people, that that some people would like to die with dignity. That and the matter is with dignity. That some people would wish to die, and the reason they would wish to die is because they would want themselves to see passing away when they still feel dignified. So there is still human dignity left with them. So they want the dignity to be given to them. I think that's the issue here. And when it comes to, I mean, and there are certain issues where the philosophical arguments about a moral issue, it's the moral philosophical arguments seep into society, and everyone might need to take a look at that seriously. What it means for them, what it means for the people dear to them, and elders who are dear to them and who have terminal illness, and what they feel about their dignity. I think this is one of those issues, and I think in any society, I think this dialogue should keep going on. I personally think this elevates the the moral standards to which people hold themselves to. So I think this is that kind of an issue. And yes, I agree with this. And I think as Babu Gogineni and Auditya also said, with due process and just to make sure, I mean, the misuse of this can be easily controlled. I mean, I don't think it will be misused that much. It's the, as long as we keep in mind that the power of control is to that person, not to the people around the person who might be willing to undergo this. I think we should be fine. And with proper safeguards, I think this should be done. And it's more important to keep the dialogue in public going.
Absolutely, and I think this is one of the greatest achievements of questionnaires like this. Is a lot of people filling this out have not thought about these things before, and they're looking at it and now it's in their mind. Now it's out there for discussion. So I think we can all safely say strongly agree for this one. Number 12, how many immigrants should Australia admit?